What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Welcome, everybody. I don't know. I'm in one of those moods. Well, welcome into the Watchtower podcast, the non-Jehovah's Witnesses Watchtower podcast. And this is what we do on Tuesdays and Saturdays. We get together and it feels like I've forgotten something, but I don't know what it is. And I hope it's not important. Either way, thank you for being here. Glad y'all are here. And this is what we do on Tuesdays and Saturdays, though. We get together and we watch for the signs of the return of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We don't know exactly when he's coming, but we will know the season of his return. We watch for, the signs that his prophecy within his word tells us is going to happen. Things, the construction of the Antichrist beast system, to things, stepping stones and foreshadowing events to build up towards prophetic events that'll happen post-rapture into the day of the Lord and whatnot. So we just get together and we watch for these things. And this is what we're called to do. And so that's what we do. And so welcome in. Maya, did you eat some chicken? We used to get that way after eating chicken. No, I have not eaten any chicken, Maya. At least not today. I ate some yesterday, but not today. This is going to be one of those shows, I guess. So welcome in. And this is episode 252. I'm all thrown off. Go ahead, Homer. There we go. I got to hit Homer. I'm all thrown off, discombobulated. But episode 252, Symbols and Saturn. And we got some interesting things to talk about tonight. I know. Everybody's like, dude, you were done with the politics stuff. I know. But, we have another wave of Trump's administration picks coming in. So I'm just keeping an eye on that. And I thought I'd pass down information that I find for them. So we're going to go over a few of his most recent administration picks. I think his nominations are done now, I think. From what I read. So I think they're all set on that. Things can change, obviously, like Matt Gaetz bowed out and whatnot. But so we're going to go over some of those. And then I want to go over if anybody's heard of The Economist, you want to call it news, I guess, that they put out. Every year they put out a yearly prediction magazine, and they're pretty good at guessing things, predicting things, I guess you could say. And they put out one for 2025, and I know there's a lot of people who are trying to figure out all the stuff, because there's a lot of stuff on those covers that you can try and decode and figure out and what's going on and whatnot. There's just one specific thing that I want to look at that I think is rather important on it. And I believe it does play a part into what we've been hearing and seeing for the past several months with what's coming up. So we're going to look at that. And then I had a few people ask me about the necklace that Elon Musk was wearing when he was at the fight, the Tyson, I can't even remember the other guy, Jake something fight, rigged fight. Just saying. But he was wearing a necklace that a lot of people, they're trying to guess what it is. I believe I know what it means. So I'm going to go ahead and go over that with you guys as well. So it's going to be some good stuff. It's been a while since we've talked about some new age mystery religion stuff. So we're going to be getting back into that a little bit tonight. I'm cool with that. That's my comfort zone. So hopefully you guys are cool with that as well. And we've got some interesting ones for tonight. A little bit different. Save questions till the end. We're not going to be answering it throughout. Just save your questions to the end. I'll let you guys know when we'll start taking those questions. So be waiting to put your question in, because if you put it in too early, it's probably not going to get through. So just thought I'd do that. Okay, let's see how you guys are doing. What are y'all up to in the chat? Let's see here. Let's just go right here with Maya. Oh, it's the chicken comment. I did not plan that. That just gonna happen. What's going on, Maya? Good to see you. Hopefully your ducks are not watching you eat the chicken. They are probably mortified if that's what's going on. But good to see you, Maya. Thanks for being here. Nothin's World is here. What's going on? Please be nice to my tools. I try to keep them shiny and neat. And so please be nice to them. Do what you can to do that. Good stuff. Let's see. We got Vin. What's going on? Oh, you're over on Rumble. What's up, Vin? Glad to see you, man. Hopefully you're doing all right. Thanks for being here, spending your Saturday here. Danoman's Gump Ride. I did it for you, Zeg. I have no idea what that means. It's probably something you said earlier that I did not catch. I'm not sure if I should thank you for that. I don't want to get myself in trouble. Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. What's up, Matt? What's going on, man? Thanks for being here, man. Always appreciate you and what you do. So thanks for being here. And let's see. We got Ebsy from across the pond. What's going on, Ebsy? She's got the coconut cream pie tonight. Ooh. Somebody get me a slice of key lime pie, and then we're talking. So good to see Ebsy. Thanks for being here. Who else we got? We got Machine Gun Kelly. Excuse me. Good to see you, Kelly. Thanks for being here, and hopefully you're doing all right. Or thank you for spending your Saturday here. Stephen South, no chicken. It's turkey season. It's always chicken season. Or you can have the turducken. There you go. But what is that? That's a turkey stuffed with a duck. No, stuffed with a chicken. Yeah. Turkey, duck, chicken. I think that's how it goes. Patrick, what's going on, Patrick? Good to see you. And talking about Northern Indiana. Either way, good to see you, Patrick. Is mayonnaise an instrument? There's a question for you. Stephanie is here. What's going on, Stephanie? Pineapple and bacon. Bacon on pizza is good, but keep it away. See, okay, so there's some confusion. People think that I hate pineapple. I don't hate pineapple. Actually, pineapple is my favorite fruit, but it's an abomination to put it on pizza. That's just AEC. Good to see you. Cold here in Blatty. Well, good to see you, AEC, and try and stay warm. For sure. So glad you're here. What else we got? We got Rick. What's going on, Rick? Glad to see you. Get the big, I was going to say green, but they're blue sunglasses. So good to see you. Joseph Pena, Jalapena. So good to see you, Pena. Thanks for being here, man. Hopefully you're doing all right. We got Coco Bear as well. So good to see you, Coco. Hopefully you're having a good week. Thanks for spending your Saturday here. We got Sarah Montanati. Good to see you. And chocolate. Yes, chocolate sounds good. It's always food. It's always food in this place. Good to see you, Sarah. Let's see. We got Jennifer Francis. Good to see you. Is it Francis or Francois or Francais? You're from Canada, right? I think you said you were from Canada. I can't remember. Either way, good to see you, Jennifer. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Who else we got? What's up, Tobes? Glad you're here, Tobes. Thanks for being here. And thanks for taking up the mantle of wretched wrenchiness. I have got nothing. Good to see you, though. We got Mina Lone. Good to see you, Mina. Thanks for being here. We got Titus to Life. Glad you're here. Who else we got? Patricia Schultz is here as well. Good to see you. We got Linda. I can never pronounce your last name. Either way, good to see you. Healthy Decor is here as well. Good to see you, Decor. We got Tracy Donovan as well. Am I missing anybody here? I know I'm missing a bunch of people. Tina is here as well. So good to see you, Tina. But I don't pick you out. It's not done like you. It's just we got a bunch of stuff to get to tonight. And so we're going to go ahead and get rolling. But first, a little bit of housekeeping.
Housekeeping?
No, thank you. Sleeping.
Housekeeping?
All right. So for housekeeping, usual spiel. If you guys can, like, share, subscribe. Get this out to as many people as you can. It's not about views, not about butts and seats, but it is about getting the warning out to people and getting people to Jesus. That's why we do this. That's our whole goal, is to focus on making sure that we're getting people the truth. We're getting people answering their questions, letting them know what's going on. And ultimately, of course, the most important thing is getting them the gospel of Jesus Christ. The only hope that we have is salvation through Jesus. And liking, sharing, and subscribing does help those reach those people. So if you guys can do me a solid and like, share, subscribe, that'll be awesome. That definitely helps. Also, make sure you guys follow me, Rumble, Odyssey, Telegram. Those are my backup channels. We'll be backup live streaming on Rumble in case I get kicked off, wonderful YouTube. But of course, we're simulcasting, multi-streaming, however you want to say it, the YouTube, Rumble, and the website all at the same time. But either way, it's probably best to make sure you guys follow me on Rumble as well. Odyssey is an emergency platform there just in case things go really, really south and we get kicked off of multiple things for some reason. So if you have an account, you might as well follow me there. There's nothing exclusive. I don't do any of that junk. It's just an emergency platform. And then Telegram, I post updates, announcements, news things, and anything in between. I just kind of throw stuff up on Telegram, I'm starting to do like a Sunday funny type of thing. So I'll throw up just a little thing for a laugh. Again, if we're not laughing, we'd be crying. But I post announcements and things like that as well that I can't necessarily put in video form. So make sure you guys follow me there. Then there, excuse me. Wow. Then we got the official WretchedWatchmen.com website. Of course, that's your one-stop shop for all your questions and announcements. And you want to know what's going on, find the latest podcast. All my series videos are there. You can find everything on the website. So make sure you guys go and check that out. And there is an addition to that website. I want to make sure that I point it out. I have I asked Spencer Smith if it would be all right if I was to go ahead and connect my website to his church finder. And so you will now find, if you're somebody who's desperately looking for a church, I think it's only the United States. So if you're outside of that, I'm sorry. But if you're desperately looking for a church, you can go to WretchedWatchmen.com and you can go to the church finder there and put in your address and see if you can find a church. Now, of course, since it is Spencer Smith, we know that he's connected to the Independent Fundamental Baptists, which I've got absolutely no problem with. I praise the Lord that there's still ones out there that hold true to sound biblical doctrine. So if you're expecting kind of more of like a laid back church, you probably won't find it there. But either way, we don't go to church for that. We go for, of course, the teaching of the word. So if you're looking for a church, Wretched Watchman now has the church finder on there. So if you're looking for one or somebody else is looking for one, you can just send them there and bada bing, bada boom. So, and shout out to Spencer Smith for giving me the okay on that one. Let's see here. Might as well go ahead and announce this as well. I announced it last Saturday, but I thought I'd just go ahead and do it again. Of course, it is the If We're Still Here Bible Prophecy Shindig. It's going to be coming up on March 15th, 2025. It is 100% free. Cost you nada. Cost you nothing to come to this event. So it's free. It's online, so everybody can get to it. March 15th, 2025. I had some people asking, is this like a big panel show or what is it? No, it's going to be an all-day event. Every person that you see there is going to have their own slotted time, just like any other conference that you'd go to. And so you're going to get individual teachings and updates and prophecy stuff from every person and what they want to bring to the table. So it's going to be an all-day event. I'm still working on bringing some new people in and whatnot. I've been in communication with a few people. We'll see if that pans out. And so be looking for updates. Of course, you can follow everything on WretchedWatchmen.com. The event page is there, so you can find out everything that's going on. I do want to make sure I stress this because I didn't stress it last time. Of course, this is all about outreach. This entire event is about outreach, getting this to people that you know that are on the edge. They're asking questions. They need Jesus. And you're like, well, all these other things that cost money or they have to travel or something doesn't really work. Get them involved. Invite them over. Watch it together. Something that I want to do is I want to have people who are throwing watch parties at their houses, throwing barbecues, church events, anything like that. I want people to take pictures of all you guys at this thing and then send them to me, and I'm going to create a collage video of you guys at this event, and I think it would be great. So I want to make this a big outreach thing in that type of way. So we'll, of course, be talking more of that as we get closer to the event. I just wanted to make sure I plugged that again, just in case. Also, if you guys would like to support this ministry and what I do, I've got donation links down below, CashApp, Venmo, and GiveSendGo. This channel's not monetized. I don't make anything from ads, views, anything like that. It's solely based off your guys' donations. So if you guys would like to help me keep this going and do what I do, those links are down below. For those who do support me and donate and pray for me, I covet your prayers. Thank you. For all of you who do support me, thank you. You guys are the ones that allow me to do this, and I'm truly blessed to be able to do this. So awesome. Okay. That's all we got for housekeeping. So one last thing I want to throw out. We seem to be, and I kind of made reference to that in my Telegram post. If you're not following me on Telegram, then you don't know what's going on. So just saying. We are kind of like the misfits over here of the prophecy community, and I embrace it, and I hope you guys embrace it as well. I think it's a good place to be. I think it's a biblical place to be. And with that, what I want to do, because I think we desperately need it, and I believe that the Lord is leading me to do that, is I want to reach out to people that we've never heard of, that are outside of our little community that we've built up and we've had for years and years and years and whatnot. And it's, the same people, the usual faces that we see. I want to reach out to other pastors and prophecy teachers and Bible scholars and whatnot, and bring them in for you guys. That is something that I really, really believe that we need to do. This is something that the Lord has definitely been placing on my heart, and it's been building up for the past week or so. It's time to go beyond our own backyard, see what else is out there, and bring in some new faces. So that is something that I want to do. I can't tell you how long it's going to take. I can't tell you how many people that's going to happen. But it's something that I want to do. It's one of those things where, I'm serving the Lord, but also serving you guys as well. And I want to make sure that I can bring you the best, biblically strong, well-educated, well-informed, just awesome people who are for the Lord, to be able to speak and teach to you guys. I think that's something that absolutely needs to be done. And so that's something that I'm going to do. And again, I can't tell you who or how long it's going to take. It's something that's going to take a while, obviously. But if you start seeing new faces popping up on this thing, just see what they're about. And again, check them, check me. I'm going to do everything that I can. I got some people on my end that are also helping me check these guys first, to make sure that we're all sound on, of course, the important things of biblical doctrine. But ultimately, I think it's something that needs to be done. And so I'm going to try and bring some new faces to this little island of misfit toys that we got going on over here. So we'll see how it goes. So just thought I'd let you guys know I'm all about transparency over here, and so I'm just letting you guys know what I'm working on. So yeah, all right, Wretched Weather Report, hit it.
Everybody got their fancy hats? Let's go.
All right, so the Wretched Weather Report, what we do is we keep tabs on the natural events, basically just keeping track of the trends of what's going on. As we know, natural events are kind of often overlooked with what's going on, but they are part of the birth pains, and they'll increase in size and frequency as we get closer to going post rapture into the day of the Lord. They're just going to increase size and frequency. So we keep track of what's going on. Earthquakes, volcanoes, storms, and things like that. Natural events does mean nature. So sometimes they're not man-made, sometimes they are, but either way, it involves nature. So that's how we roll with it. And so this past week for earthquakes, keep track of the 5.5 magnitude and up. We had a 6.1 in Nishinomote, Japan. Oh, I got nothing. Then there's a 5.6 in Havululoto, Tonga, followed by a 5.5 Havululoto, Tonga. We need a Havululoto, Texas. I think that would be great. Then there's a 5.7 in Longyearbyen, Svalbard, and Jan Mayen. I kid you not. This is part of Norway. So take with that what you will. Yeah. And then there's just a couple hours ago, there's a 5.9 in Levuka, Fiji, as well. That's what we got. Man, the earthquakes have really changed this past year. I would say the past year. There would be a time where I would have an entire page filled. But now for some reason, it's just a few. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if it's just bad reporting data or whatnot. I take it from many different places, and this is what I got. So kind of interesting with what's going on with that. I wonder if they're hiding things. Then we got we got 46 volcanoes actively erupting this past week, same as last week. So no change. We're still in that range of 44 to 48. We got 6 in North America, 6 in South America, 2 in Europe, 3 in Antarctica, 4 in Africa, 17 in Asia, and 8 in Oceania. No change on any of those regions either. So we're standing pat for the volcanoes. Let's see here. I'm sure those on the West Coast know everything that's going on with this. But there was the bomb cyclone and the atmospheric river that were slamming the Pacific Northwest over there, California, Oregon, Washington. So a couple things going on with that. They've received 12 inches of rain, and I think that's the most so far. Of course, that's still going on. So that's as of yesterday is when I got the recent report. 2 deaths reported in Washington, so that's never good. 260,000 without power in Washington, 18,000 without power in California. The miles per hour wind gusts were up to 70 miles per hour. Then there was 1 foot of snow that dropped in the Washington Cascade, with another 15 inches expected over the weekend. So, woo, they got a lot of snow going on over there. And then, of course, all over, up and down the Pacific Northwest, they got avalanche and flood warnings going all over the coast as well. So if you're over there dealing with this, sorry to hear about that. Be praying for all of those affected by it, and pray that there's no more deaths from this. That's never good. So yeah, be praying for those on the West Coast for that. Also, continue to be praying for Spain. They are still dealing with ridiculous floods and rains. Thank you, Geoengineering Morocco, for that. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I talked about that last Saturday. So, yeah, you can thank the wonderful people trying to play God. Ridiculous. Anyways, that's all we got for the Wretched Weather Report. All right, you guys ready to get into this? You guys ready to do this stuff? Let's see, you guys are talking about type 6 diabetes. What is going on? Y'all are ridiculous. Okay, let's go ahead and get into what's going on. So last Saturday, I did a entire thing breaking down the majority of Trump's administration picks. Obviously, we're in the transition time where he's picking new people and whatnot. If you're here for Saturday or you watch the clip videos that I put out, you would realize that the new boss is the same as the old boss. Nothing's changed. He's not draining the swamp. He's picking people that go right along with the globalist agenda and stuff like that. I don't understand how nobody can figure this out. But we do have some breaking news. I've just been told that we got breaking news. Trump is announcing his final administration pick. And there it is. he's going full blown. He has selected the swamp thing itself to join his cabinet. Sorry, I saw that and I had to put it up there. Yeah, people are going to get mad at me. I don't care. That's just how it goes. Have some fun with it, people, because he's picking swamp creatures for his things. So let's go ahead and go through some of these. Again, I'm not going to go through all of them. I haven't had time to go after all of them. I think he just 2 hours picked the agriculture lady, and it's not who I thought it was. So I had to X out who I thought it was going to be. So I don't have anything on the new Secretary of Agriculture. But let's go ahead and start with the one that I was waiting for. I already did the deep dive on him last Saturday because I was 99% positive he was going to pick this guy, and he did. So he picked Scott Bessent for Treasury Secretary. If you guys know anything about Scott Bessent, well, I'll just kind of give you a rundown. Scott Bessent worked for George Soros from 1991 to 2000, where he then received a $2 billion grant from George Soros himself to go start his own cryptocurrency hedge fund that he had going on. Then he came back to work for George Soros again from 2011 to 2015. Back in 1992, Scott Bessent, along with George Soros, helped crash the British pound, which is known as Black Wednesday. Yeah, you can go look up Black Wednesday and you'll read all about it. That was Scott Bessent and George Soros that did the big trade, which actually collapsed or crashed the British pound back then. Of course, I said Scott Bessent received $2 billion from George Soros to start his own hedge fund. Scott Bessent also founded All Seasons Press, which signed a whole bunch of MAGA authors to book contracts and then sued them afterwards. He's also received an endorsement from Lindsey Graham. If you receive an endorsement from Lindsey Graham, you're doing something wrong. He's also a homosexual. He's married to a man, and he's committing everyday child abuse to 2 children. I stand under the belief that any gay relationship with kids, that's child abuse. That's just how it goes. Scott Bessent also sits on the board of trustees for the Rockefeller University. So we got George Soros and we got Rockefeller. That's great. He also worked closely with Peter Soros, who is George Soros' nephew for many years, or he worked with Peter for many years, he worked with Peter Soros, who is George Soros' nephew. And Peter Soros was named directly to be a part of Epstein's trafficking organization. Now, Does that mean it's guilty by association? I don't know. Just thought I'd throw it out there, though, because I came across that and I thought it was interesting. So, yeah, that was the one I was waiting for. And there it is. Trump picks Scott Bessent, Mr. Soros and Rockefeller man, to lead the Treasury. Great stuff. Again, live look at them announcing the new cabinet member. There it is. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Not sorry at all. It's just how it goes. All right, moving on. If you want to know more about Scott Bessent, head over to Saturday's show, and I break it down a little bit more over there. Let's see. Trump also chose Dr. I can't say this with a straight face. I just can't. Trump chose Dr. Oz for head of Medicare and Medicaid. Yikes. Okay, here we go. Dr. Oz. Yes, he's been a member of the World Economic Forum for a very long time. You can even go back to January 26th of 2012, where he was attending said Davos meeting for the World Economic Forum. And yes, there he is, posing with the wonderful witch and spirit cooker, Mariana Abramovic. I can't pronounce her last name. Abramovic. I can't remember. But yeah, the witch. And there he is with her. If you know anything about Dr. Oz, the dude is new age crazy. Everything that he does, he talks about how he's here to heal your mind, body, and spirit, which is all about his new age crazes. He goes head first into faith healings, paranormal treatments, other new age style medicine practices, and whatnot. He's all about dealing with those types of things. Of course, that's why he's hooked up with a witch. Of course, I showed the video before of Marina talking about the shaman dreamers who got together and said Trump is the best thing to happen for them because he's the one that's going to bring in the new order that's coming. So it doesn't surprise me that they're friends right there. Of course, Dr. Oz was a regular on the Oprah Winfrey show and believes the same new age practices and beliefs that Oprah teaches as well. So we got him. We got a new age crazy boy. Oh, he's also pro coof jabs too. That's always good too. Thought I'd throw that in there. You're going to see a lot of that tonight. Just a heads up. After Dr. Oz, let's see. If you guys didn't know, the House Ethics Committee came out and saying that they were going to block the release of the ethics report on Matt Gaetz. And so he has pulled out of the attorney general position. I talked about Matt Gaetz on the last show about how there's just a mountain of ethics complaints against him. A lot of witnesses that were saying that he was boasting of his pedophilia stuff, traveling and doing things with underage girls and whatnot. And they have decided to keep all that under wraps. Anybody surprised? I'm not. And so he's pulled out. So he's not involved with the Senate anymore because he already resigned from there and he pulled out of that. This seems like a move where there was too much heat on him and they had to get him out of there. They've done this a bunch of times before. So Trump then nominated Pam Bondi for attorney general position. I don't know a whole lot about her. Honestly, just a couple of things that I did pick up on. She's for red flag laws. She's for taking people's guns away before going through due process on that. So that matches with what Trump wants to do when it comes to the Second Amendment. Trump's not pro Second Amendment, guys. Neither is Pam Bondi here. But the other thing that I noticed, and this has been a theme, I made a note of this last time. She is an Israel first pick. She's not an America first pick. She's not a pro-Israel pick. She's an Israel first pick. And so we've seen that a lot with Trump, and that seems to be pointing towards, again, the focus being shifted over to Israel, which, of course, if we go with the Freemason orchestrated plan there, that's where everything's going to start. So I think that's important to pay attention to on that. Other than that, I don't know much about her, so I can't really give any detail on her. Let's see who else we got. Oh yeah. And if you guys still don't think that this is all a giant show, giant theater that's being put on, Trump picked Linda McMahon for the head of the Department of Education. If you guys don't know who that is the wife of Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon created the WWF, now known as WWE. which, if you guys don't remember, Trump has appeared on that many times, going out there doing the wrestling thing for fun. Yeah, he chose Linda McMahon. She was a part of his cabinet last time, just not in a very prominent spot. Now she's got a full thing. But what I do find fascinating, if you guys remember, Trump made it a point to say that he was going to abolish the Department of Education. So why is he hiring a head person for it? Could it be, I don't know, a politician lied? But it's Trump. This is 4D chess, right? He's got something up his sleeve. He always does. Either that or it's bad advice. Somehow he's a genius for the good stuff, but somehow it's bad advice for the bad stuff. It's amazing how that works. I wish I could have that job. That'd be great. Anyways. All right, moving on. So that's who he's got for Department of Education. Great pick. Yikes. Okay. That's scratched out because that was the agriculture lady. So that doesn't apply anymore. Okay, here we go. Trump then picked Jeanette Nishwa. Yes, Nishwa. Jeanette Nishwa for Surgeon General. Get ready for this one, guys. Here we go. Dr. Jeanette Nishwa. Coof jabs in the future. This is our path out of the pandemic. This was in 2021. Yeah. Says, but fast forward to a year later, I am optimistic. This is written by her, by the way. I am optimistic that we are on our way to ending the needless loss of lives, starting with the nothing short of the miraculous Coof jab and the development of therapeutics. We have many jabs in existence that treat a variety of non-life-threatening diseases, but to have a Coof jab, i.e. Pfizer or Moderna mRNA, that will actually save you from dying is a gift from God. This is our path out of the pandemic. I didn't know it was a gift from God. Wow. Wow. Maybe, is that what it meant when Franklin Graham came out and said Jesus would take the jab? Maybe that's what that meant. Yeah, I took a shot at Franklin Graham. Sue me. Yeah, that's great. She's pro jabs, pro masking, pro mask mandates for both adults and kids. She's for all of that, which is wonderful. She's also pro medical censorship and praised Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook. Don't believe me? Check it out.
First of all, vaccines save lives, and I am so excited, and I thank and I commend Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg for taking action, because this affects everyone. This affects our children. It affects adults. I mean, just look at the recent measles outbreak, the biggest outbreak that we've had in decades with measles, and that's no joke. Measles can cause brain inflammation and pneumonia and ear infections and hearing loss and death. So it's about time that they are taking action, and I hope and pray that other social media platforms will follow suit and do the same thing.
Nice. Man, so she's pro censorship as well. Great pick. You know what else she's pro? If that's not enough, yeah, it just keeps on going. It's a gift that keeps on giving. She's pro murder of children too. Yep, she was in opposition of Alabama's, this was back in 2019, opposition of Alabama's anti-abortion bill. She was just saying how horrible it was and how women need choices for their lives. And then also in 2024, June of this year, she's in support of the abortion bill, which of course you guys know that Trump and JD Vance are proud and endorse and are in support of the abortion pill as well, which of course we know is the number one abortion method today. And so she's in favor of that too. So, I mean, just jabs, poof tyranny, censorship, mask mandates for, kids and adults. She's pro-abortion. 4D chess, right? Let's just wait and see. That's what I've been hearing a lot lately. Every time I bring any of this up, it's just, well, let's just wait and see. Question: if Biden picked any of these people, would you just wait and see then? I don't think you would. Don't think you would. Let's keep going. Last but not least on the docket for this one. It's just crazy. Like I said, I couldn't get to all of them, so I just, yeah. Trump picked Lori Chavez de Remer for Secretary of Labor. Not a good pick. Not a good pick, Cotton. Let's see where this goes. She's the pro-worker choice for labor. She's not pro-worker. She's pro-union. Says, as a member of Congress, Representative Lori Chavez de Remer of Oregon teamed up with Vice President Kamala Harris and teachers' unions bosses to push a proposal that would effectively override state-level reforms to limit the power of public sector unions. She wants unions to have more power over the states and employers themselves. Guys, that is like fascist 101. People like to throw the word fascist around. I get it. But that is fascism 101. The combination of applying private and corporate, private and government is what this is. And she wants to have unions have more power than states and employers themselves. And of course, would answer directly and work with the government. This is how it happens. This is how it works. Let's see here. That might seem like it would make Chavez de Remer an unlikely choice for Secretary of Labor. And of course, she's been picked for it. Shocking. Politico reported earlier this week that Chavez de Remer was in the mix to run the Labor Department, and she has the backing of some high-profile labor union leaders, including Teamsters President Sean O'Brien, Randy Weingarten, the president of the American Federation of Teachers, tweeted approvingly of Chavez de Remer's consideration for the job on Thursday. Go take a look at and see what they support, guys. It's not good. Remember, don't take my word for it. Go out there and check it for yourselves. The outpouring of support for Chavez de Remer from labor unions probably reflects her record as one of the most pro-union Republicans in Congress. It's not good. She's one of 3 House Republicans to endorse the Protecting the Right to Organize Act. The PRO Act is just horrific. Go check it out. A grab bag of big labor agenda items that would extend some California's awful independent contractor regulations nationwide. Yes, she wants to abolish independent contractors. She wants them gone. She wants every single employee to be under a union of some type. And there's no independent anything anymore. That's what she wants. And that's what she's been working for. Now she's heading the Labor Department. This is something that Biden and Kamala were trying to do, and now she's with Trump wanting to do the same thing. Just bad advice, though, right? That's what I'll hear. She's one of 3 House Republicans to endorse the Protecting PRO Act. We saw that. She wants to abolish the so-called right to work laws in the 27 states that have passed them and expand the powers of the National Labor Relations Board, among other things. So more governmental power. That's great. I thought Trump was for less government, not more. She's also one of the handful of Republicans to co-sponsor the Public Service Freedom to Negotiate Act, which is best described as a federal power grab that allows public sector labor unions like the AFT to force their will on states that have the limited power of those unions. As Dominican Pino notes at the National Review, the bill would effectively rewrite labor relations laws in roughly half of the states, making many of them Republican-governed, which currently either prohibits collective bargaining by public employees or don't explicitly authorize it. This is just atrocious. So she's pro-union, anti-independent contractors, anti-employer rights, and she wants more power and pro-union. She wants more power for the unions to have over each state. She's also pro-illegal alien amnesty, supporting several acts, including the American Dream and Promise Act, as well as the Dignity Act. So she's pro bringing illegals over with amnesty to take jobs away from Americans. Man, nice pick. This, I thought the first ones were bad. This is just keeps on going. Just keeps on going. This isn't a one-off or a two-off. This is an entire cabinet of this. All I can say is praise the Lord that God's in control. Praise Jesus that he's in control of everything that's going on. And he has promised to get us out of here before the cow manure hits the proverbial ceiling fan. I'm on a Christian podcast. Either way, yeah. So that's what I got when it comes to his administration picks. Now, Zach, I wake up looking like that. Oh man. Where's that at? That's great. See, Linda Palmieri, is he trying to sabotage himself? No, he's not. He picks swamp because he is swamp. For some reason, I'm still looked at as some Looney Tune crazy extremist guy because I think that Trump's in on this stuff. But every single thing that he does says that he is. If it talks like a duck and it sounds like a duck and it eats like a duck and it poops like a duck, then what is it? That one's for you, Maya. I don't know. I don't know. It's just crazy to me. Either way, with all that being said, again, I believe that what we are seeing right now is the shifting of God's eyes over to Israel. With all these people, like I said, the majority of his picks are Israel first, not pro-Israel, Israel first. They put them ahead of their own country. And so I think, again, that's an indicator that that is the direction that we are going. And that fits perfectly with the season that we're in. That fits perfectly with what Scripture tells us is going to happen. God has said, this time of Jacob's trouble. The church is going to be gone. My eyes are going to be moved over to Israel. That's my people. That's my land. I'm going to, these things are going to happen. I'm going to get them through it. This is for them to come to the realization that Jesus Christ is their Messiah. And so I think we have firmly stepped over across that line into now shifting towards God's moving his eyes towards Israel. Now, of course, we're still here. So he's got his eyes everywhere else too. I'm not saying that he's now boom, but we're moving in that direction. And so that is another sign that we are getting close to being taken out of here. So I think that's a very important thing to remember. So when we see moves like this, they're obviously swamp creatures, but they're obviously a lot of Israel first people as well. And so this is going to be interesting to watch. This is going to be absolutely interesting to watch. Sorry, my cable keeps getting stuck behind me. Sorry about that. Okay. So yeah, that's what we got for that. All right. Let's go ahead and move into the next one. Ooh, goody. I haven't gotten to talk about this type of stuff in a while. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. So let's take a look at what's going on with The Economist. So raise the hands. How many people have heard of The Economist, the magazine, publication, research thing, or whatever? Show of hands. So something that's worth paying attention to, there's these little indicators and stuff that I think we could use as gauges when it comes to stuff. We seem pretty split on people who have heard of it and who haven't. Okay. That's cool. But there's some indicators, like I mentioned before a few episodes back, about one of the indicators that I saw that Trump was going to win and support. The plan was to have him be a part of it. Was I saw a shift on Saturday Night Live. Yeah, that unfunny skit show that has been funny for several decades now. But you can usually gauge political leanings and movements and whatnot if you pay attention to them. And towards about 2 months before the election, they shifted and started going positive on Trump and absolutely nailing Kamala to the wall. And so when I saw that, that was an indicator that they're going to get Trump in. That's when the national media all of a sudden started flip-flopping and going pro-Trump and anti-Kamala and whatnot. So when you see these things, it's usually a good sign of what they plan to do. The Economist puts out a yearly release called the World Ahead cover. And you could go back in history. You can look at all the covers. They're very, quote unquote, prophetic with what's coming. Obviously, they're not prophets, but the people who own the magazine are people who pull the strings. We'll get to that in just a second. So when they put these things out, you can usually find something in there. Now, people take it way too far. People take it way too far. And man, they will dissect every little thing, trying to come up with some way that it's all connected. You know, like you've seen the walls where they've got all the notes with the red strings going all over the place with people's pictures and whatnot. They can go too far. We shouldn't do that. I've warned about doing that for a long time. Don't try and make things fit. Don't try and, well, it attaches to this number, and if I change this letter over here, it means this and stuff. Don't do that. That's how you get lost in garbage that will send you in the wrong direction every time. You don't want to do that. But what we can do is we can just take a simple, just objective look at what is on the images or on the covers, to see if there's any hints of what's coming. And in the latest one for World Ahead 2025, there was one particular thing that stood out to me that I think is key, because it does play a part with many things that we've been seeing with what's going on. So I'll get to that in just a second. If you don't know The Economist is a publication and is owned by the Agnelli and Rothschild families, which there's the cream of the crop families for you. Yes, the Agnellis as well. And sitting on the board includes people like Lynn Forrester de Rothschild, Alex Karp, which I've talked about him before. He's the CEO of Palantir. He's connected to the CIA, as well as he's on the steering committee for the Bilderberg Group, along with Peter Thiel, of course. And then another one on there, you may have not heard of him before, but is Mustafa Suleiman, who's actually connected to Microsoft AI and DeepMind, which of course those are big as well. So those are three that sit on the board. There's more of them, but those are the standout ones for me. One of the past members also include Eric Schmidt, who is the Google guy, the CEO of Google, connected to the Alphabet Group, the corporation that owns Google, not the Alphabet, thing. And then of course we know that he's in support of Trump now too. So that's pretty interesting that there's a lot of that going on. So as I said, they're notorious for using covers to predict or tell what's coming. Now, this year is interesting. And so what I want to point out to you guys on this one is at the very top is Saturn. Very, very interesting. Now, if you don't have any idea what on earth I'm talking about when it comes to Saturn or why that's important, I'm going to show that to you tonight. But I think this is very key. So obviously you get Trump in the middle. You can see like a face on there. They lined up the eyes, the nose, and the mouth and whatnot. What I do find fascinating is the eyes and the nose and the mouth. Saturn lines up with actually where the third eye would be, if you want to get into the New Age stuff, which is kind of fascinating. But there's a whole bunch of stuff there. Again, you can see why people would go nuts trying to figure all this stuff out. No, I just want to focus on that one box. Saturn. Why is that? Because Saturn is the ruler of the golden age. And what has Trump been touting for a very long time now? The new golden age of America. I think that's telling. So, let's just break this down. Let's go through some history, see how this applies, and all that type of stuff. So, Saturn, my bad. I don't know why I wrote Satan. I meant Saturn. Saturn plays a significant role in Roman mythology and is known as the ruler of the Golden Age. He is considered tell me if any of this sounds familiar. He is considered the god of harvest, peace, abundance, and prosperity. Interesting. Connected with him is the festival of Saturnalia, which takes place mid-December near winter solstice and is known as the birth of the sun. S-U-N. I want to make sure that I get that right. The birth of the sun. This was a time of feasting, gift giving, wreath hanging, and candlelight worship. Does any of that sound familiar? Yes, that is where most of the Christmas traditions come from. Oh boy, I'm going to be stepping in it again. I've talked about Christmas before, and I'll talk about it again. Yes, this is where most of the Christmas traditions come from when it comes to things like the candlelight worship and the wreaths and the gift giving and all that type of stuff. It comes from Saturnalia, which is the worship of the Roman mythological god, which of course I don't believe these guys were mythological. I believe these were the Nephilim back then. But still, that's what we got going on with that. So if we go even further back, and I've talked about this in my End Times New Age series, but thought I'd just bring it up again. If we take it further back, it goes to Nimrod, who, of course, was believed to be birthed or born on December 25th. And on the night of his death, overnight, an evergreen tree sprung up from the dead stump that he was buried next to. And his wife at the time, Semiramis, claimed that was the signaling that his spirit is with them. Each year, they would celebrate around the evergreen tree, where the spirit of Nimrod would then leave gifts and blessings to all of those next to the tree. And so that's where things like the Christmas tree and December 25th and all of that stuff comes from. Then it evolved into what we see with Saturnalia, where more traditions were thrown on. And these are the same traditions that are passed down to Christmas of what we celebrate today. Now, I don't personally celebrate Christmas. I've told people that. I don't celebrate Easter. I don't celebrate Christmas. Don't celebrate Halloween. Don't celebrate Valentine's Day. I've looked into where all that stuff comes from, and I want nothing to do with it. They're all revolved around pagan traditions and whatnot. Now, you guys do what you're going to do. I don't attack anybody for if they do celebrate that stuff. Just do what you do. I personally can't do it after learning what I've learned. But if you guys want to know where the history of this stuff comes from, there it is. So this is where the Romans, they formed those celebrations, those traditions, added on to them. And of course, that became Christmas of what we see today. The Romans worshipped Saturn as so they would be blessed with prosperous crops for the year. And so they worshipped him every single year, mid-December, and it was pleasing to him. And so he would bring them good harvests and good crop growth for the year, as well as prosperity and peace to go along with it. Very interesting. So we're getting a history. I've got some more, obviously, when it comes to this, but we're starting to get a history of the Saturn character and how he plays a part in the Golden Age. Now, of course, this transitions into a few other things that we'll get to, but we're starting to get an idea of where this comes from. So we've been hearing Trump speak often of the coming Golden Age of America. And now The Economist has placed Saturn atop the cover of their World Ahead 2025 cover, pointing directly to the ruler of the Golden Age. Do you guys think that's coincidence? I don't. I don't believe that at all. And as we know, whatchamacallit? Lost track of my train went off the rail there. Come on, get back on, Thomas. I've lost my train of thought on that sentence. It's going to be a good sentence too, and I can't remember what it was. We're just going to have to move on. Sorry. Okay, so let's talk about the Golden Age. What is the Golden Age? What's all involved with it? I think this is important to understand too as we move forward. So the Golden Age is recorded as a time where Earth was peaceful, loving, and flowing with abundance. It was also a time of perfect balance with nature. I think that's key, because what is something that they've been using as a scare fear tactic in order to drive all of their agenda forward? Climate change. And so what have they been trying to do? Well, we need to become in balance with nature. This is something that they've been using for decades to get their agenda in. I would go back to I think it was the late 50s, early 60s, I believe, that this stuff started getting introduced. That was back when you go to the Club of Rome meetings and whatnot. And then I think the book came out in 63 or 64. I think. Don't quote me on dates like that. Unless I have a date written down, I'm terrible with it. But I think it was about that time. But they admitted it, that they're using climate change as a way to make this all happen. And so they're using the perfect balance of nature, which of course is lined up with the golden age. Of course, it's all about peaceful, loving, and flowing with abundance. Part of the New Age belief that we understand has to do with a one love, a oneness love, where everybody's going to come into this light, which is another element to this that I've been trying to talk about. They talk about balance and duality all the time, and it's the light and dark, the light versus dark type of thing, which is, I mean, you just find it in everything: martial arts, Hinduism, Buddhism, alchemy, New Age, New Thought, the metaphysical, the UFOology. Everything has to do with balance, the light versus dark, which is something that I've talked about with Trump. Is he's bringing that false light in with him. He's bringing that duality. They made the left so extreme. Nobody can argue that. I've never argued that either, even though I've been, so you voted for Kamala. No, just get out of here. They made the left so extreme, so dark, so they can bring somebody in who has the agenda just the same, but present it in the light way. And so this is something that's heavily going on when it comes to balance and duality, that is all about the mystery religion, the New Age and Gnostic and all these things, of course. If you want to know more about the mystery religion, what that means, I don't have time to go over everything. End Times New Age series, I explain it all there. But that's really what's going on when it comes to this. Along with the golden age, it's about this one's big. Ideals and morals of the golden age were adopted by all people, all societies, and all religions. Oh, snap. What does that sound like? That sounds like a one world religion to me. That sounds like a one world religion. It's all about unity, which is one of those words that I often warn people about. I said, if you start hearing people say the word unity, especially in your church, you got to be. I've been trying to. If you go over the End Times New Age series, I kind of like was training people. When you hear these specific words, it should just be instant. Like, okay, what's up? Like, what am I hearing? It's just one of those words that grabs your attention. Unity is one of them. Because unity is thrown around so much in the church now, but it doesn't mean the unity that the Bible talks about when it comes to unification with fellow believers and whatnot. These pastors in these churches now are talking about unification with different types of religious traditions and whatnot. Churches are starting to do more events with Catholics. They're starting to do more events with Mormons. They're starting to do more well, not the Jehovah's Witness, because they don't want anything to do with them. Anyways, but they start reaching out and doing things with more and more of these other traditions and whatnot, bringing them in. And I have talked about this, and I have warned about this, and I firmly stand by this, even though people don't agree with me on it. That's fine. We have to be so selective on who we associate with. We have to be so selective who we associate with. And it's getting worse, because we're starting to see a lot of snakes being let into the backyard on purpose. And it's not good. And something I have said, and I've seen it happen more than once. I have personally seen this happen more than once. The moment you allow mystery religion to get her foot in the door, the moment you start allowing these other things to get into the church, or into your home, or into your family, it's going to start sending you down. And it's going to do it every single time. Don't do it. That's why the Lord has warned us over and over and over. Do not be unequally yoked. You are not of the world. You are just in the world. Divide from the world. Do not unite with anyone who opposes Jesus Christ. If we have been warned so many times, don't do it. But then here's the church going, well, we just all need to get along. These are just secondary issues. When in reality, they're not. A lot of this stuff isn't. They just get pushed off as secondary issues, and then we start seeing things go downhill. And this is a big one, and this is exactly what mystery religion wants, because she's the one that's riding the beast in. She's the one that's bringing the religion with her, that eventually she'll get thrown out, set on fire, ripped apart, and the Antichrist will come in with his one-word religion: worship me. And it's because of things like this, little things like this. We have to be so careful of who we associate with and who we promote and all that. Also coming with it, the Golden Age was a time where the ancient texts, the pagan texts, I read several of them from different religions. They all match up. They describe Saturn being the guiding star for the age. People look to Saturn to guide them, not the sun. We always, talk about the sun. No, they look to Saturn to guide them, which, of course, again, if you go back to the festival of Saturnalia, birth of the sun. So they're kind of one and the same. You might be confused. I'll explain it in just a second. The reason why this is important is because the Babylonian... Wait, wasn't Nimrod Babylon? That's right. Going back to Babylon. The reason why this is important to note is because the Babylonians knew that Saturn as the sun star, which they believed to be the true sun. So they believed that the Saturn was actually the true sun, and they called it the sun star. Worth noting that Nimrod is known as the god of the sun. Fascinating. Very fascinating. It's also written that during the Golden Age, the ability to reach the fifth dimension would be attainable. A key foundation found throughout mystery religions is to achieve a planet oneness through Christ consciousness and conscious evolution. I'll explain these in just a second. And this will ascend the planet into the fifth dimension. So one of the big things when it comes to New Age, when it comes to theosophy, when it comes to Hinduism, when it comes to Buddhism, when it comes to UFOlogy, like the Pleiadians and what they believe when it comes to that type of stuff, is they are all one with the planet. If you know the foundation of New Age, they believe that God is in everything and in everyone. That is not true. That means God is in my desk. He's not. God's in this water. He's not in this either. God's not in every one of us either. We are not gods. You know how some pastors like to say Christian means little Christ? That is New Age. Christian means Christ follower. Big difference. Little Christ is little God's doctrine, that you believe that you are God. So that's where most pastors don't even know that. They just say it without looking into it. It's one of those traditions that gets passed on that I wish they would look into, because that's a New Age teaching. Get that out. If you have a pastor that says that, go to them privately, gently, and say, I suggest you look into this because this is what it means. Definitely do that. That's something we don't want to be passing around. But the goal is, because God is in everything and everyone, that means that we are all one with each other and one with the planet. And so if we can all collectively, consciously get on the right spiritual awakening level, that means we can then take us and our planet and ascend into the next dimension. I kid you not. This is real stuff. I go over it in both End Times New Age series and the Aliens and Demons series. So yeah, I talk about that stuff as well. But ultimately, this is what the Golden Age is about. It's about getting everybody on the same consciousness awakened level so we can reach the next dimension and we can reach these attainable things that's going on. Everybody following me so far? I certainly hope so. Sorry, I get excited about this stuff, man. This is my area. I love talking about this stuff. Obviously, I hate what it is. Don't get me wrong. but I don't know. It's just fascinating to me. So the Golden Age also is very similar to what we would know as the Age of Aquarius, which again shares many traits with each other. So both the Golden Age and the Age of Aquarius share most of their traits. It is believed that Saturn moved into the Age of Aquarius in 2020. With Earth following behind. Now, there's still some debate on whether the Earth has entered into the Age of Aquarius or not. People are torn. I don't know. These people don't either. But everybody is basically saying it's about now that it should be happening because of what happened with Saturn back in 2020. The Age of Aquarius is a time of peace and unity being the core points, being the core elements of it. Now, I showed this last Saturday, but I just want to go over it again just to make sure. The 4 main points of the Age of Aquarius, which again pretty much match the Golden Age belief, has to do with the mind shift from self into the human collective. That's that conscious shift into oneness type of deal. So it's all away from self into the collective type of deal. Age of transparency, letting everybody know what's going on. There's no hidden agendas. This is how we're moving forward type of deal, which again, that's not really happening, but that's something that Trump has been saying. He wants transparency. That's something Elon Musk has been saying. He said the whole Doge department's going to be about transparency. So we see that getting pushed. The explosion of technology and computers. Now, there's a lot to this. Now, obviously, we've been seeing what's going on with AI. We've been seeing what's going on with quantum computing. We see what's going on when it comes to technology as a whole in itself, how it's moving forward and whatnot. So we're seeing that explosion. But when it comes to Christ consciousness, which I'll get to in a second, hang on to that, that plays a big part as well. Spoiler alert, has to do with transhumanism. And then, of course, dissolving of religions and embracing the spiritual enlightenment of oneness. So that it has to do with everybody ditching their old traditions and falling in line with the new love religion. Yeah, that sounds nasty, right? Yeah. So pretty much the Golden Age and the Age of Aquarius, they match up on these beliefs. Something Trump has been pushing lately, of course, with this campaign, and people are firmly expecting from him, is this Golden Age of America, bringing about the unification, bringing about the peace, bringing about the prosperity. How many pastors have we heard talk about my bank account is safe? I got Donald Trump in there. We get to go eat at the Red Lobster again. Sorry. Just had to throw it out there. But yeah, these are things that he's been saying for a long time. Make America great again. New Golden Age of America. Make America first in AI. Make America first in cryptocurrency, crypto capital. Everything is about that, the Golden Age. And this is what people are bringing, and this is what people expect from him. So obviously that is something that we are absolutely seeing being done. Now, hang on to Christ consciousness and conscious evolution. I'm going to bring that over with this next part that has to do with Elon Musk's necklace. I've had a lot of people ask about this, and this plays a part with this as well. The other thing that I want to touch on is the necklace that Musk was wearing at the recent fight that was going on. If you guys have any questions as well, make sure you guys throw them in now. And I'll be getting to them because we're about done with what I got. So if you got questions, start throwing them in now. Make sure you put questions in all caps. If you don't do that, it may not get answered. So the necklace that Trump was wearing at the fight, or not Trump, Elon Musk, is this. Now, there's a lot of speculation on what this means, obviously. I think I have a good idea. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know 100% because I didn't make the thing, so I don't know. But from my study, research, and what I know about pagans' history, as well as symbolism, I think I got a firm grasp on what this means in particular. So I'm going to leave this up as I talk about this because I think it'll be good for you guys to see this, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. The eye open in the middle there, in the very middle, that's a one eye open with the light beams coming out, represents conscious awakening. That is part of the conscious evolution and Christ consciousness. So that eye wide open with the sunbeams coming out has to do with a conscious awakening. This is pretty much universal through all religions and traditions that use one eye symbology. That's an awakening that's going on. Christ consciousness is the belief that we are all gods and we must consciously choose to evolve into our godlike state. So we all have God powers within us, and so we must reach the conscious level or the conscious awakening level in order to advance to that. Technology plays a part in that as well. They believe that technology through transhumanism will also bring them that power to go along with it. Conscious evolution with it has to do with the idea that we have just evolved up until this point involuntarily, but we have reached a point where we must now choose to evolve to the next evolution, which would be our God states. That's why we've been stuck in this position for so long, is because we have to develop the technology and the conscious awakening to evolve. And then once we do that, we become one, ascend into the next dimension, so on and so forth. That's really what they believe. Many of these religions all believe the exact same thing, just different wordage, verbiage, and type of stuff. What I always say, it's the same engine, it's just got a new color of paint on it. That's really all it is. And so when you look at his necklace, that's what I believe is going on here, is conscious awakening that's going on. That's why I also warn about all these things, that it's all about awakening. People, the Awakening Tour, or the New Awakening, the Great Awakening. You see it all over the place. People talking, you see a lot of New Agers and Hindus and stuff, Buddhists talking about the awakening and whatnot. Pastors are now starting to catch on to that. They're just starting to throw out awakening now. Again, I think it's a thing that they don't even realize what it means. They're just using it because it's hip and cool. Check me out, fellow kids. But that's really what's going on with that. And so this is one of those warning signs again. It's stop. Don't use that word. No good. Avoid. So that's what we got going on with that. So that's part, again, the conscious awakening, part of the Age of Aquarius and the Golden Age as well. The Omega symbol, though, this one is key. This one's a big one that I don't think a lot of people realize with what's going on. Again, I have my theory here. I think it's a pretty darn good theory from all the research that I've done, but I could be wrong. I'm just throwing it out there, but it all matches and fits everything in my opinion. So the Omega symbol is very key. The eye is awakening into the Omega symbol, or the Omega point, which is the final stage in the Jesuit Catholic priest Pierre Teilhard de Chardin's Omega point evolution. And so the eye is awakening into the Omega point. Now, Desjardins was a Jesuit Catholic priest who was hooked up with the Rockefellers, who was trying to actively combine Darwinism and Christianity together. He said he couldn't beat Christianity on the outside, so he had to join them in order to bring them into unity together. And he came up with the Omega Point system. And so what it is, it has to do with Christ consciousness and conscious evolution, where through a collective awakening, we will then become one, and then we will advance into our God states. Again, matching exactly what all these beliefs believe. And so when you have the eye opening into the Omega system, you are consciously evolving into the Omega point. And so we look at Desjardins' Omega point system. There's 4 points to this, and it's all timeline based. And so the cosmogenesis, the first one, which is the Big Bang creation. Now, remember, Desjardins was all about combining Christianity and Darwinism. So he was teaching that God created the Big Bang. So he combined both of them together. It wasn't Big Bang out of nothing, and it wasn't God created the earth. No, it was God created the Big Bang, which then created the earth. That was point one. That then evolved into biogenesis, which is life begins and evolution. So that means that's when the tadpole became the fish, and the fish became the turtle, and the turtle became the bunny, and the bunny became monkey, and then monkey to human type of thing. So that's what he said. God used evolution to bring us to this point. Homogenesis is where we are now, which is the consciousness, the spiritual consciousness, or the noosphere. So the noosphere is a global consciousness awakening to the same spiritual awakening. So everybody must awaken to the same level of spirituality, one world religion, simply put. It's basically a unification of consciousness, which will then allow humanity to propel into the Omega point itself, exactly as Musk's necklace would point into. And that's the fourth point, which is Christogenesis. And it has to do with a spiritual convergence. Everybody all converging to the Omega point, which means we have achieved Christ consciousness and we are going to go and be co-creators with God. Pretty much all foundations for religion have some type of element of this to them. And again, talked about this before, all religions of the world all go back to the Garden of Eden, where Satan asked Eve the question, did God really say? That was the birth of Gnosticism, which then spread from the Tower of Babel. Again, End Times New Age series, if you want to know all the history of that. That's really what's going on. Even people like Peter Thiel, yes, Peter Thiel, the technocrat that's behind Trump, has come out and believes this as well. He has said that God gave us technology for us to become transhuman so we can become co-creators with God. Yes, even he believes that. So when we see things like this, especially when you look at what the technology that Elon Musk has been creating, everything has to do with this. Brain computer interfaces, the BCIs, the brain chips, his VAX system, his VAX printer that he's been working on. You look at the SpaceX stuff, trying to advance us further in the space, which I've got something I'll show you about that in just a second. All this technology that he has everything to do with advancing us. AI is another one with that. It has to do with advancing us towards that. The same thing with Peter Thiel and what he's doing. You look at all these technocrats and what they're trying to do. Trump is surrounding himself with this. Remember, Trump worships Apollyon, which if you guys know Apollyon, that goes back again, Revelation, the king of the locusts, who's going to come release his locusts during Revelation. So this stuff is all here. Plus, he was brought up with Norman Vincent Peale, a Satanist who believed a new thought, that if you think hard enough, you can materialize that reality in front of you. This is all wrapped up in that as well. And so when we see the golden age, when we see, symbols like this, they're all wrapped up in the same thing. This is that mystery religion, which will eventually become the one world religion when the Antichrist takes his spot in the abomination of desolation, midpoint of Daniel's 70th week. Now, Musk, of course, has been pushing this exact same philosophy through years, through his technology, as well as little hints that he's been posting. He constantly talks about collective consciousness. He's always talking about collective consciousness, if you pay attention to what's going on. But he also posts stuff like this, too, where there's a Elon Facts Twitter group. Never heard of them before. But they said a new philosophy of the future is needed. A new philosophy of the future. We've been hearing everybody calling for a new religion. Bill Gates has been calling for it. Yuval Harari has been calling for it. All these bigwig people are calling for this new religion. Well, again, replace philosophy with religion. It's the same thing. So Elon Musk is calling for it too. New philosophy of the future is needed. I believe it should be curiosity about the universe. Universe in all caps, or not all caps, but capital U. Pay attention to capitals, guys, because they tell a lot. Something that you've been seeing, you may not have even paid attention to it, but something, if you start paying attention now, movies, TV shows, media stuff, anything like that, they're constantly replacing God with universe. Well, if the universe gives it to me, well, I'll pray to the universe. I kid you not. The moment that glass breaks, you're going to start paying attention now. They have replaced God with the universe, exactly as Elon Musk is doing right here. Expand humanity to become a multi-planet, then interstellar species to see what's out there. Next dimension. Yes. And then Elon Musk quote tweeted it, saying a new philosophy that is compatible with most existing belief systems. Unity. Religious unity. This is the mystery religion. This is the woman riding the beast in. She's in all of this, directing and guiding as things go forward. This is what's going on. So I think that economist thing was very telling. I believe that necklace that Elon Musk was very telling as well. And they all match up perfectly with what's going on. So, okay. That is what I got for that. All right. See what we got. Questions. Let's see here. How are we doing on time? We're actually doing good on time. Okay. I can get you guys out of here at a reasonable time. All right. Let's see here. Linda, we're looking for videos. Zach warns about Jonathan Kahn. Oh, I sent that to you early on, Linda, and I think you saw that. Okay. So yeah, I think you got that. Good. Let's see. Angela Grando. Sorry. Grando, one of those. Angela Grando. Can you explain why enneagrams are not good? A lot of it has to do with sacred geometry. If you look at the outline itself, it's a sacred geometry piece. You may not realize it's actually a pentagram, how it goes. And it's about finding somebody's personality through these things. It's the same thing like tarot reading. You use these tarot cards to try and figure out people's future and the personality of the person. Astrology is another one. You use the stars and your star signs in order to figure out who you are and everything. That's all wrapped up in witchcraft stuff. And sacred geometry, alchemy type deals. It's just a lighter version of that. So something that the witches have been doing for a long time, centuries, honestly, is they try to take their practices and simplify them and make it more community friendly, more likely to be accepted in regular society in simple forms like this. And so people will naturally latch on to it and they'll start playing with it. And then they'll start playing with something that's a little bit worse. And then they start playing with something that's a little bit worse and they start working their way towards it. This is a tactic that they've been using for again, centuries. And so it's the same thing. It's a lot of it has to do with sacred geometry, a lot of it and that type of stuff. Spencer Smith does a really good breakdown of the history of it. I've never done history on it. Maybe I should. But Spencer Smith does a great breakdown. So if you go to YouTube, type in Spencer Smith enneagram, and he'll break it all down to you. But it has to do with all that stuff. Let's see here. Question: Can anyone here help me out? My mom, you put mum, so I'm guessing you're British. Cool. Is trying to push me into the passion version. No. I did a quick research and I came to the conclusion that is something to stay away from. Am I correct? Yes, absolutely. You want nothing to do with the passion version. It's not even a translation. It's a paraphrase, and it's a woke paraphrase. You want to stay absolutely far away from that. And hopefully you can get your mom off of it too. I haven't done anything on it. Again, I know there's some guys who do a full-on breakdown that point everything out about it. So I would load up on information on that and then kindly go to your mom and say, let's talk about this. But yes, absolutely stay away from that. It's horrible. Yes, definitely stay away. Would you like to keep calling me Kissamore or Kizamore? Terry? It's whatever comes out in the moment of time. That's all I can say. Yeah. Hey, you know what? That's just how it goes. If you're rolling with me, get used to mispronunciations and bad translations. That's just how it goes. Maccabees question: if Trump is now their plan, how does the I'm guessing Biden? Yeah. and the escalation of the Ukraine-Russia conflict fit in? Well, this is a tricky one because this is something that could go in many different directions. The big thing that I would put is he's supposed to usher in the golden age of peace. If they got something raging when he's coming in and all of a sudden he calms it down, there's your peace, your false peace, but still peace. Again, I know the theme, it seems to be pointing like it's going to go full on World War III before Trump. I don't even want to say this, but I don't think it's going to happen. Just my perspective, my it's just how I look at it. It's my perspective on it. That's all it is. It's my speculation. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to kick off in the Middle East like they planned for it, according to the Freemason War. But it could. So don't take me my face value or anything. That's what I believe. But I think if it's to the point of, boiling pot and water's boiling over type of thing, and Trump comes in, that'd be the perfect opportunity to calm everything down, get things going with the Middle East, with Israel, and he's bringing in all the peace. That's just my opinion. If tomorrow everything starts blowing up, clearly I was wrong. But that's why I don't like throwing out, speculation like that, because I don't know what's going to happen. None of us do. But that's how I see it fitting. He's going to bring in the peace exactly like the Golden Age. So, let's see here. El Gato. Joy. What about Thanksgiving? Oh, I'm guessing you're thinking the roots of Thanksgiving. I don't have a problem with Thanksgiving. I've never looked into it, but I don't think there's anything really attached to it, honestly. Maybe there is, though. I don't know. I don't have a problem with it as of right now, though. It's a lot of food. And food is good, as we know. Food's very good. So, yeah, I don't have anything to give you on Thanksgiving right now. McGiff. Someone puts one finger on the opposite wrist, like they're pointing at a watch, and then the opposite hand has a finger pointing down. I don't know. You're asking me, what does that mean? I don't know. If you have that picture, it says you saw it on a photo. If you can send me that photo or a link to it, please do. I'd like to take a look at it. Because the on the wrist thing, first my initial thought was as above, so below, but that doesn't make sense with that. So yeah, if you have that picture, send it to me. I'd be curious to check it out. Stephanie, I'll get to that here in a second. Let's see. Rick Whitaker, question: can you explain the third eye? Okay. Yeah, just simply, because there's a lot of, you can go, I'll just do it simply. The third eye would be like where I have my Penguins logo, like your forehead. And it has to do with your chakras. So if you just look up chakras, like a picture of a chakra, it's usually when you do like the Buddhist Om thing, you're like in a meditative state. And there's I think is it 7 or 8? I think it's 7 or 8, one of those chakras that go from your pelvis up through your spine, up to your forehead. And you have to align all of your chakras, and your third eye will open into a meditative conscious awakening. This is what they're trying to do when they meditate. Yoga is a part of this as well. And many religions practice this. And so this is something that has to do with the third eye. So you're probably in reference when I made reference to this. You see the two eyes, the one that has the nuclear logo, and then the looks like Benjamin Franklin's eye from the $100 bill, the nose, and then the mouth, and then where the third eye or the forehead would be is Saturn. That's what I was saying. So it has to do with aligning your chakras, and the last one is your third eye that opens on awakening. Let's see here. So yeah, that's simply put. I hope that kind of gives you an idea of what that is. If you just look up chakra picture, you'll see it. You'll go, oh, I've seen that before, and you'll get it. Okay, let's see here. Terry Kissamore. What is the seed war all about? The purpose, in your opinion? I'd have to. I don't have anything off the top of my head. I would have to look, Terry. And yeah, I'd need to look and refresh my memory. So I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth on that one. So yeah, I would have to look. Sorry. Patrick Starr, question: do you think there is any hope for the broader Watchmen community to wake up at this point, or will they just continue to be deceived by Trump's and Trump, Republicans, etc.? Patrick, I don't think that this is the time of deception, time of the falling away. Things are going to get worse. I don't think there's going to be a big revival in the church when it comes to realizing the deception that's going on. I don't see it. That doesn't mean we don't stop doing what we're doing and warning people and letting people know what's going on. I certainly haven't stopped. I'm going to continue to do what I've been doing. That's just how it's going to go. But no, I don't think that there's going to be some revival in the church, people to wake up to what's going on right now. And I received a letter from, I don't want to use her name just in case she doesn't want to reveal it. But I received a letter from a woman who is from that area, the German area. And she has original reports and information, original, from what was going on in the Christian church back during Nazi Germany. And she sent me a very long email explaining that everything that was going on in the Christian church regarding the rise to power of Hitler back then is happening now with the rise to power to Trump. She said the churches embraced Trump, defended him, twisted scripture and the gospel to make sure that people stayed true to Trump or to Hitler. And anybody who stood against was excommunicated, thrown out of the church, ostracized, was the black sheep. The church wanted nothing to do with them. And we're seeing basically the same thing happen with the church today. She made very compelling parallels to the Christian church during the rise of Hitler, to the Christian church, to the rise of Trump nowadays. And I don't think that's going to change. I don't think it's going to change. I think it's very, very, very sad. Let's see here. Machine Gun Kelly, question: what is your take on the planned mass deportations that will take place next year? Well, I've talked about this before. I don't want to, drive it into the ground. But there are many plans and policies in place that would align with creating the perfect opportunity for martial law to go in and use the illegals as the opportunity to grab dictatorial control and turn this into a whole dictator situation. That was my prediction at the beginning of the year. Said Trump's going to come in, they're going to install him, and he's going to become a dictator. And I continue to see more and more things happen in that type of way. I saw a recording of, it was a behind closed doors meeting. Not like a, only a few people behind a table type of thing, but it was like a press meeting, but it was behind closed doors with Trump that Mike Johnson threw on. And Trump promised, he said, I'm going to decrease illegal immigration, but increase legal immigration. What on earth does that mean? How do you increase that? So I have questions on what's going on when it comes to the border and the deportation situation. And a lot of agendas and policies are in place to instill martial law. And I think because of who Trump is, the patriot people are going to go, well, it's Trump and he's going to take care of the illegal problem. So it's okay. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Where did we see that before? So, but it's just a wait and see. it's just a wait and see on what's going to happen with that. Everything right now when it comes to this stuff is really a wait and see because we don't know what's going to happen. Rant's mission. If America would so trust in Donald Trump, did that man? Okay. If America is so trusting in Donald Trump, the man bringing in the golden age and his golden money and everything and his work speed shot question, I'm not sure I understand your question, Rance. If you're still watching, and mods, if you're paying attention, see if he can reword that and send that one in. I'll see if I can answer it. Yeah. I'm not sure I understand your question, Rance. Stephen South, do you think that the Republicans missing the votes on the judges was on purpose? I wouldn't say so. Judges kind of go in and out. They don't need all judges. They just need certain judges here and there. So I don't think all the judges stuff is rigged as big as the other ones. Are some? Yes, absolutely. I don't think all of them, though. So I wouldn't read too much into that. The ones that they need are in place. Kind of like the ones that they need in Congress are in place. Not every single congressman is involved with what's going on, but the ones that they need are in place. So that's how I look at it. Let's see here. Katie, did anyone else notice that fighter where Trump and Musk were at reach down and grabbing the hand of Trump and kissing it? I did not see that. I did not see that. Was he wearing a ring? Was he kissing the ring? That would be kind of interesting to see. KW question, what are your thoughts on stoicism like Marcus Aurelius? I am uneducated on that, so I do not have an answer for you, KW. Remember, I hold the right to say I don't know. Garrett Hoffer got just like 3 more questions. Garrett Hoffer question, I heard about it but haven't looked. Did you see that Werner von Braun wrote a book before Elon with a character named Elon that would be the leader of Mars? I did not hear about that. I'd have to look myself, Garrett. I'd have to look myself. Yeah. Werner von Braun, if you guys don't know, he was the Nazi rocket scientist who came over during Operation Paperclip, and he was the one that, on his deathbed, exposed Project Bluebeam. So, if people don't know, I go over him in the Aliens and Demons series as well. But I don't know about that book, Garrett. I'd have to look. 2 more questions. Let's see here. Patrick Starr question, do you have an opinion on Mike Winger? I do not. I know of him. I've seen some clips of him, but I have not actually sat down and gone, okay, Mike, what do you believe in and what do you teach and stuff? I haven't done that. So I don't have an opinion on Winger. From the few clips that I've heard, he seems right on when it comes to biblical stuff. Seems a little lackadaisical when it comes to the ecumenical stuff. But that was just quick little clips. So I got nothing against Mike because I don't know anything about him. Last but not least, of course, if I can find it. Where are you, Peanut Gallery? There you are. Oh, my goodness. Stephanie, question. If you choke a Smurf, what color does it turn? Well, first of all, that's Smurfist. You're Smurfist. That's not right. What did the Smurfs ever do to you? I would say he'd turn purple. Just the next shade of blue, right? I think he'd turn purple. So that's what happens, right? You turn blue and then you turn purple. So I think he'd turn purple. All right, that's all we got for questions. All right, so with that, the most important part. This is the most important part. This is where we have our hope. This is where our faith lies. This is our only chance of life, and that is through Jesus Christ. And it's just absolutely lovingly beautiful sacrifice for us. I know a lot of people might take that in the wrong way. I don't mean beautiful as in, yeah, they killed him. No, beautiful as in how he laid down his life to save us, and it's beautiful. So, this is just one of those times. Sometimes we just got to slow down a little bit. We have fun. We go through all this stuff. It's good. None of that really means anything without the gospel of Jesus Christ. We owe everything to Jesus. We owe everything to the God-man, the one and only God-man, that is Christ Jesus. His gospel is simple as ABC. A is you admit that you're a sinner. The act of repentance is a changing of mind, metanoia. It's realizing that I am a sinner and I can't do this on my own, and I need Jesus Christ alone to save me. It's through this admittance, through this repentance, that allows us to have true belief in Jesus Christ. We believe that Jesus Christ is the one and only begotten Son of God, that he came down 100% man, 100% God, the God-man, the one and only God-man. And he lived the perfect, sinless life, the one and only to do so. This is so important because that made him the only one qualified to take our place upon the cross. That's why we can't save ourselves. We were born into sin. We had no shot, no chance of saving ourselves, even though that's what all these other people believe. We just talked about it tonight. That's what all these other people believe, that we are gods. Christians means little Christ. It does not, because we can't save ourselves. It's only Jesus Christ. And so he, through his perfect sinless life, took our place upon the cross, and he died upon that cross. But just as he promised, he said he would, just as prophecy told, just as he prophesied, and because there's power in the blood of Jesus Christ, he defeated death and rose again on the third day. For all who believe in him shall not perish, but live forever in his presence and in his glory. Remember, the glory is his, not ours. And see, as you call upon the Lord, it's just, Lord Jesus, I am a sinner, and I have sinned, and I need you alone to save me. Lord Jesus, come into my life, come into my heart and save me, Lord. I believe that you are the one and only begotten Son of God, that you came down 100% man, 100% God, lived the perfect sinless life, that you died upon the cross and you rose again on the third day. Lord Jesus, save me. Amen. Remember, knowing the story and believing in Jesus are two very different things. There's many people out there that know the story, say the sinner's prayer, and go on about their day, but they don't truly believe in Jesus Christ, and they don't have the salvation that only he can bring. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. All right, guys. That's all I got. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. Y'all a bunch of hooligans and heathens and misfits. And I love every single one of you. And so does Jesus. And so does Jesus. But yeah, so just a little thing here. Just, of course, going to throw this back up. If we're still here, Bible Prophecy Shindig is 100% free. It's online, so everybody can come. And it's March 15th, 2025. I'm still working on getting a couple more speakers, so be on the lookout. If you want to know more, head over to the Wascally Wabbit is at WretchedWatchmen. No, go over to WretchedWatchmen.com. And I got the event page there. You can learn more. I'll be updating that as more comes in. So, but yeah, going to be good stuff. But yeah, usual spiel. If you guys can, like, share, subscribe. Get this out to as many people as you can. It's not about views, not about butts and seats, but it is about the warning people of what is coming and getting people to Jesus. That is why we do this. That is what we're commanded to do in this generation, with time being so short. So liking, sharing, and subscribing does help reach those people. So if you guys can do me a solid and do that, that'd be great. Also, follow me, Rumble, Odyssey, Telegram. Those are my backup channels. Of course, we're multi-streaming, simulcasting, however you want to say it, to YouTube, Rumble, and the website. But if I get booted off YouTube, we'll be backup live streaming over on Rumble, so make sure you guys follow me there. Odyssey is an emergency platform there just in case things go super duper south. Nothing exclusive. I don't do any of that stuff, so it's just there, just in case. And then Telegram, I post updates, announcements, news, things, and anything in between. I just kind of throw some stuff up there. It doesn't necessarily fit for video format and whatnot, so make sure you guys follow me there. The WretchedWatchmen.com website is your one-stop shop for all your questions. You want to know what's going on, announcements, the latest podcasts, series videos, where my channels are at, the event page, obviously, for the If We're Still Here shindig. And then, of course, I just added the church finder on there. So if you need a church or you know somebody who needs a church, head over to the website. I got hooked up with Spencer Smith's church finder. And so if you guys need a church, that's a place to go. I stand by Spencer Smith's church finder. They're all independent fundamental Baptist churches, but I know that he wouldn't have any church on there that does not preach the true 100% Bible and correct doctrine. So I stand by that. So that's why I chose to attach myself to his finder. So make sure you guys check that out if you guys need a church. I felt like there's something else I was supposed to announce, but I can't remember. No, just be on the lookout again, as I'm going to try and start reaching outside our community and bring in some new guys. So I'm going to make sure I do my darndest to bring in some biblically strong, backboned, well-educated, well-informed guys. And that's something that I really want to do for you guys, as well as, of course, the Lord ultimately. So be on the lookout for that. And then last but not least, if you guys would like to support what I do, I got donation links down below, CashApp, Venmo, and Give, Send, Go. My channel is not monetized. I don't make anything from ads, views, anything like that. Everything I do, I want to do it for free for everybody. And so if you guys would like to help me do that, those donation links are below. And thank you guys for your support and your prayers, your encouragement, everything. You guys are awesome. You guys are absolutely awesome. So I thank you. And I thank the Lord for you guys as well, for allowing me to do this. And so that's all I got. With that, well, y'all are a bunch of heathens. Y'all are a bunch of misfits. And tomorrow is Sunday. So get your heathenic booties to church tomorrow. Whether online or in person, doesn't matter, as long as it's a Bible-believing, Christ-following church. I still get people who don't like that I say that. The reason why they say that is because finding a good Bible church nowadays is becoming difficult, and people got to go online. And the church started in a home, and it's going back to homes. So if you don't like that I say that, sorry. Just how it goes. Either way, get your heathenic booties to church tomorrow. And if the Lord does not come back by Tuesday, same time, same place, I'll meet you guys right back. Yeah. Peace out, Maranatha.
still here? It's over. Go home. Go.